live from the Great Lakes State. It is time for round 2 of the Speed Racing Network Fiverr Truck Series playoffs, and the tour takes us to the high-speed, high-banked, 2-mile D-shaped oval that sits in GM and Ford's backyard. A fantastic sight for 10 drivers all tied up in points to duel it out and showcase just who's for real and who's going to fall under the pressure of the playoffs. I am Emerson Arden, and I have my colleague Will Tiller alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening. We are excited to be bringing you live coverage around 17 of 20 from the virtual Brooklyn, Michigan, here on the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform. And Will, we essentially have a super speedway on the docket this evening in the playoffs, with the mounting playoff pressure and tonight's lap count only being 60 laps. How do you anticipate these drivers performing in tonight's showcase?
Yeah, welcome back, Emerson. It's been an exciting time here tonight to kick off things back here in the Fiverr Truck Series. I expect it to be fireworks, coming off the heels of Jacob Zalo winning the last race before we came to break here. Emerson also coming off a clean sweep of Ford, winning everything in NASCAR this past weekend. We're kicking back off the SRN series here in GM's backyard. It's going to be a great night of racing. Can't wait to get it going.
Absolutely, and these drivers, they have already gotten it started tonight here from Michigan in the Great Lakes State. Qualifying is well underway. We would have points ready for you, but well, let's be real. Everyone's tied at 0. There is no points graphic to show, though. Will, the drivers that are into this round of 10, Jeffrey Radke, Jacob Zala, the 2 winners from last round. Radke got it done at Texas and Watkins Glen. Zala getting it done at the Monster Mile. Matthew Greathouse, Jason Green, Michael Madden, Blair Holloman, Ben Park, Andrew Harris, Wally Babb, and Dalton McKinney. Some heavyweights like Trevor Williams and Michael Lepicki, two-time winners on the season. Well, they did not make the transfer.
Yeah, and that was a very competitive cut line there. But I think with Jacob Zalo winning that race before the break, it kind of shifted things there in the series. It kind of showed that there was other players here, especially, as you mentioned, Emerson resetting those points to 0. Very interested to see which drivers are more motivated now that all the math, all that's out of the way, and it's just whoever can win the most checkered flags.
Absolutely, and again, getting a great look here of the 2-mile D-shaped oval, owned by Roger Ansky, the captain himself. Of course, the virtual version here on iRacing. The 2018 scan, so just post the repave, done in 2014. So we got the updated scan here, and a very smooth racetrack, very fun racetrack here at Michigan in these trucks. It essentially will look like a race at Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta nowadays. It's going to be like that, with these trucks being so, or I shouldn't say so, but with these trucks not having the horsepower of, say, a next generation cup car. Your on throttle time around here is so long. It promotes that style of racing, and that's what we're gonna see tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Emerson. And there's always been this talk about the SRN Fiverr Truck Series here, about the yellow flags and how many we have and all that good stuff. But what I expect here tonight is, Emerson, you're looking at that first stage, 15 laps in that first stage. I think those top 10 drivers know how important those points are. You're going to see a shootout, but I think it's also going to be clean, Emerson, because I think these drivers know exactly what's on the line with only 3 races here in the top 10.
Certainly. Now this is going to be an intriguing one, right? Because this track is wide. There is plenty of room for drivers to navigate and negotiate space with one another. But again, this track has the tendency to pack drivers up. It invites runs. I do agree with you that I think the first stage will be clean, but from there, I don't know what to expect, to be quite honest with you. Now, what will help these drivers, what will help all of that talk about the, I guess, amount of cautions we could potentially see tonight, is that we only have 21 drivers currently signed up for tonight's race. And so it is not a large field in terms of being able to create, gigantic balls of energy that would just combust at any moment with a bigger field. But still, it's going to be intriguing to see. I think strategy will come to into effect as well, with fuel strategy and everything being so important here in Michigan with how much on the gas you are.
Yeah, absolutely, Emerson. Watch that last, I'm going to say 25, 30 laps in this race. It's going to be those money stops, the green flag runs. If it is a caution fest, how many trucks are going to survive this race? If it's a green flag run, if it's clean, how many drivers will undercut? How many drivers will make the right call? But it looks as though, Emerson, we are wrapping up qualifying. We're about to get things rocking and rolling once again here in the SRN Fiverr Truck Series.
Absolutely. Well, qualifying is completed, done, and dusted. It's time to head down trackside and get our starting lineup for tonight's event here. Round number 17 of 20 on the Speed Racing Network calendar, but more importantly, race 1 of round number 2 is about to be underway here, Will. And so we'll go through our starting lineup with Andrew Harris and Matthew Greathouse the front row. Dalton McKinney, Wally Babb, row 2. Connor Cunningham, Jacob Zala, row 3. Troy Techmeyer, Jeffrey Vickery, row 4. And it's Ben Park and Danny Dow to round out the top 10, Will.
Yeah, then you look at Jeffrey Radke in that 3. You look right next to Jeffrey Radke, Austin DeLong in that 89, Blair Holloman in that 10, and also Jason Gratke will go 13th, 14th on that grid. Nathan Nixon in that 38, and John Koiser in that 97, 15, 16. The 17th and 18th will be Michael Madden in that 15, Bruce Armisen in that 28. Zachary Hines in that 4, 19th, and Derek De Silva in that 5, rounding out our field.
Rounding out the grid, Daniel Park, Nicholas Lawrence out there to be a 22 truck grid. A shout out to our series director, Daniel Baldler. He was taking some laps earlier in practice. I don't anticipate him showing up to run tonight. He does have a job to do. And so with that being said, we also do have a job to do ourselves, Will. We have the action to present. And again, very, very likely this is going to be a little chaotic and a little bit of anyone may be able to get it done. It's going to be who's in the right place at the right time. Looking at these trucks, Will, about to put you on the spot. What say you?
What say me? I think the obvious choice, looking at this speedway here tonight, is a beautiful shot here on the Speed Racing Network. I gotta say the 46 machine of Dalton McKinney. He's gonna roll off third here tonight. It's been very good in these speedway races, super speedways, high bank races. That 46 has really been in the mix. You see a different paint scheme on that 46 here tonight as well. Rock with Dalton McKinney in that 46.
I like it, Will. I think that's a fantastic choice. I think someone who's still searching for a victory this season, Will, has yet to break through and is consistently up there searching and vying for one. I picked him at Texas. I know it didn't work out in its entirety, but I'm going to go with it again. I'm going to go one spot up, Will, with Matthew Greathouse, who starts second. Still searching for his first victory on the season, even though he has been oh so consistent in that 51 machine. So tonight be tonight, he breaks on through.
And I gotta say to Emerson, you also gotta look at some guys that maybe didn't qualify all that great. You look at the likes of Jeffrey Radke in that 3, maybe Blair Holloman in that 10 down there in the 13th position. So some of these guys, maybe Nathan Nixon in that 38. I'm gonna shout him out as well, Emerson there. Watch for these drivers. Maybe didn't do so hot in qualifying. Maybe have that late race speed. Know how to work those tires during that race. Maybe make that run. Some of these guys could be inside the top 5. Maybe 20, 25 laps to go.
Well, here we go, Will. It was a fantastic off week. Hope all of you folks at home loaded up on all that Halloween candy, whether it was before or after the 31st. I won't judge. Definitely, go out there and take advantage of those Halloween candy discounts starting November 1st. But we are here. We're back with the racing action. We did a mental reset, and we're ready for round number 2 of the Speed Racing Network playoffs. Round 17 of 20 here at the Michigan International Speedway. is green. One lap completed. It's Andrew Harris with the top spot over Greathouse, Babs, Zala, and McKinney, the top 5. And Harris holding station out in front as the field is 3 abreast, multiple rows deep, starting with 5th on back.
Yeah, you see this drive down the backstretch there with Harris in that 87. You see the high side of the racetrack building up here as we come cruising into 3. Looks like Greathouse, though, making a move to the inside of the racetrack, coming off the corner. Already frantic inside of the top 5 as you see 3 wide for 3rd.
Oh, so close. 3 wide there between Babs, Zala, and Dow in that battle for 3rd. Greathouse tried to take advantage of the clean air down on the bottom side, but was no go there on the inside. They all nearly stack up on top of one another as they enter into turn number 1. As they come off the corner here at turn number 2, Zala works to the outside of Matthew Greathouse down to back.
Yeah, you know Harris in that 87, he's heavy on the wheel right now, having to block both lanes. Coming into the corner, you see that side-by-side battle. Jacob Zala, I mentioned he was the winner before we went to a break, Emerson. You know, I just slipped my mind. Neither one of us picked Jacob Zala to win this race here tonight. Maybe he heard that on the broadcast because he just made a big move for a second as we go across that start-finish line into 1.
Zala searching for the clean air. He's going to drive it deep into the inside of turn number 1. He's going to try to get that truck to rotate on the bottom side, nearly washing up into the 87 of Andrew Harris. It'll be side by side down the back straightaway on lap 4 of 60 here at Michigan. Greathouse giving a shove to Andrew Harris on the high side. Oh, and around goes Jacob Zala. Oh, right in front of the field. Oh, no.
Andrew Harris, Greathouse in the 51. Jacob Zala in the 25, our entire podium there, Emerson. Everybody inside of that top row, 5 laps into this race. Man, what a pile up here in Michigan.
I'll tell you what, if there was going to be an incident here, Will, I did not expect it to come from the top 3. But they were racing very, very hard. They were all racing for something, Will. Stage points were going to be at a premium, especially, Will, as everyone is reset at 0. Here's the replay here. Greathouse tried to turn into the corner. Just was not clear. Clips Zala in the right rear quarter panel. Zala eats the outside wall, and Andrew Harris goes for a slide back up the track. Nowhere to go for Matthew Greathouse as he tries to recover in that 51 machine. And wow, the top 3 going into turn 3, Will, none of them come out inside the top 15 coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, and we talked about it here as we checked out that Select Blinds instant replay. What this race was going to be like. Was it going to be clean? Was it going to be a caution fest? And I can already tell, Emerson, as we watch this replay once again here, man, that just happened so fast on the entry of the corner. I could kind of feel it, though. We saw some big moves for positions. We were going 3 wide there. Emerson, you know, you sort of, for lack of a better word, poke the bear so much, you get the claws, and I think that's what happened there. The guys were maybe pressing just a little bit too hard, and things just unfortunately unraveled and in the entirely worst position on the top row.
Oh, you just can't help but, you know, just wonder what happened, what went wrong. All 3 of these drivers were running well. They were running 1, 2, and 3, and now all 3 of them are running 1, 2, and 3 on the other end of the scoring pylon. All of them getting repairs on the pit lane here. Wow. Well, while we have a moment, we're going to take a step aside real quick, and we're going to hear from our partners here from Butt Kicker. Don't go anywhere. Welcome, race fans, back to live action here from the Michigan International Speedway. And a change of hands here out in front at Michigan as the top three going into turns 3 and 4 on lap number 4. They are now 17th, 20th, and 21st. Working lap 7 at 60 under caution. A new leader in Wally Babb has emerged. Danny Dow, Jeffrey Vickery, Dalton McKinney, Austin DeLong, Jeffrey Radke, Connor Cunningham, Ben Park, Michael Madden, and Jason Kratke as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. We are racing once again here from Michigan. New leader out in front. It's Austin DeLong to the top spot here as we work lap 9 at 62. 3 wide for the race lead. Maybe 4 wide for second.
Yeah, that 89 machine at Austin DeLong has to block all 3 lanes there. You see it's 3 wide for second. He's holding it down, though, as we come off of 2. Field is staying steady for a moment there as Cunningham and Babb almost make contact coming off of the corner. Down the backstretch here, 1 lap under green. Austin DeLong and the 89 takes us into 3 and 4.
And so that didn't even occur to me. Connor Cunningham is running in that 22 machine. He scored as the 64, but it's that 22 machine that's sitting second on your screen. And so where's where the confusion is lying there. Michael Lepicki not able to make tonight's race as he heads into turn number 1 second. So he works to the inside of Austin DeLong as Connor Cunningham as we work through lap number 10 of 60.
Yeah, and you see 89, he's rear view racing. So many moves happening behind him there. Cunningham on the low side. There's Dalton McKinney, my race pick. Also, Radke, I mentioned one of those drivers there that qualified outside of the top 10, now on the move. Now up to 6th in this race. But the 89 now starting to separate Emerson 10 laps in.
Everyone jostling for position now, starting to fall in line. 50 laps to go here from Michigan. Stage break around the corners. You work 11 of 60 here. 5 laps to go till the stage. Everyone works their way up off the corner. Somebody pounds the wall down. I think that was McKinney.
And you can tell, I mentioned it here, the franticness of this first stage. We set everything to 0, so those top 10 drivers, they want as many stage points as they can get with 3 races here inside the top 10. Maybe you don't take home any checkered flags, Emerson. These stages could make the difference as 89 and DeLong still leading the way, but here comes the 46. He tried to get to the low side. He got blocked out like Forrest Gump on the school bus as we head into 1.
Dalton McKinney around the outside, trying to take the race lead here at Michigan. Trying to get that 46 turned up off the corner. He's got the advantage down the back. Everyone slipping and sliding behind as McKinney leading now. Dow drops down to the inside.
Yeah, there goes Danny Dow on that too. Always looking so fresh and so clean. You see him there with the Fed Up FedEx throwback logo on the bumper of that truck. He's leading the way now down the front stretch, but McKinney's not going to let him take it easy as they're side by side for the race lead into 1 here with 48 laps to go, Emerson, but it is getting tricky here behind him.
You can see everyone trying to feel these trucks out while simultaneously racing for a stage victory. Danny Dow and Dalton McKinney go at it. Jeffrey Radke, the 2-time winner in the playoffs already, trying to work his way forward. 3 wide as DeLong tries to work down to the inside for the race lead.
I was going to say, Emerson, I know 3 guys that are top dogs here in this series got knocked out not too long ago, but we got some more dogs here in this series here in the Fiverr Truck Series as one of them leading the way here. Oh, no! We're wrecking into 1!
Wally Babb and Sean Kosher gonna go round it. Oh, no! Dan Park absolutely wallops Sean Kosher.
Man.
And that should be the stage. Oh my goodness. And we will get a look what happened to Sean Kosher and Wally Babb into turn number 1 here, Will. We saw most of it live.
And for the 99, he was starting to slide just a little bit, finds himself there at the tail end of this lead pack. And it looks like maybe he tries to come up for the entry of the corner. That's just a very, very close racing move, almost similar to our last caution there, Emerson.
Absolutely. Neither one of those drivers, had any malicious intent to even think about making contact with one another. But Wally Babb, I think his eyes were fixated on the craziness out in front of him. We're right on board with Wally Babb, as you can see, as he just starts to drift up the racetrack into the path of Sean Kosher. Well, actually, from the looks of it there, Kosher maybe was the one that drifted. You're going to see here Kosher get walloped. Oh, my goodness.
And if we could ride back on board with the 99 just to see his point of view there, because it's so hard there, Emerson. You're on the low side of the racetrack here. You're trying to go into the corner, trying to stay as low as possible. But one thing about this, folks, you can't see to your right rear view. You don't have a side mirror you can look out of. You can't look to your right. You can't look behind you. So for the 99 of Babb, he thought he was clear heading into that corner. It's unfortunately both those trucks are going to be heavily damaged, but in some of those instances, it's sort of a 50-50 situation, Emerson.
Absolutely. We'll ride more here with Daniel Park as this wreck happens way off the road. And there's the wreck. Slows down, sees the truck. Thought he was going to slide down more. Not able to get on through in one piece. But here we go. That's going to bring out the stage yellow. And yeah, I think it was Dalton McKinney. The stage victory. They were racing for it hard, but I think it was McKinney. And we're going to try to bring on up driver of the number 46. And what we believe is our stage winner here in the 46 of Dalton McKinney. And Dalton, after just scraping into this round of the playoffs with the wild race at Texas that kind of set you on the back foot, here you are starting your playoffs right.
Yeah, excited to get the stage win. Kind of same scenario as last week. We're going to have to stay out here on old tires due to just trying to get the points. Thankfully we got a few more that stayed out with us this go around. Hopefully we get a quick caution, get some tires on it, and get back to the front.
Absolutely. That still boggles my mind that's how that works. But anyway, here you are now with a little bit of a compromise strategy, but the chaos here at Michigan is not, not lacking by any means. We've had now 2 big incidents here in this lead pack. What's it gonna take? How are you gonna keep your head on a swivel to keep yourself up and running?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of luck. You try to keep guys you trust around you. I got a lot of teammates up here. If I can stay within them, your chances increase of staying in it. Just try to stay up front, and it's a lot of luck more than anything. Just trying to stay out of the big one, and hopefully we can complete all 60 laps and get a good finish here. Do a little points racing.
Well, Dalton, a quarter of the way down, and you are, well, I guess if everyone reset the playoffs at, the same point total, then you're technically the point leader. So congratulations on the stage victory. Best luck to you the rest of the way.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. Hopefully I'm talking to you again here later.
Absolutely. I was driver of the number 46, Dalton McKinney, our race leader in the McDingers Chevrolet Silverado out of Fret Level Midnight Motorsports. He's got teammate Jeffrey Vickery to his outside here for the restart. Park, Kratke, Harris, Radke, Madden, Dow, DeLong, and Nixon, the top 10. So the iRacing.com safety vehicle approaches turn number 4 and will start working its way off of the banking. And stage number 2 about to commence here from the Great Lakes State. Slowly but surely, trucks are falling out of this race. Green flag back in the air. How many more? Well, Will, that's my first time looking at it. We don't have any Fords here in Ford's backyard here in Michigan. That is quite unfortunate. But we do have some Chevys that can be repping the flag for GM as Michael Madden drives it deep down to the inside of turn number 1. Trying to get it side by side next to Ben Park as they'll be drag racing down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's one of those names that we haven't called out at all here tonight with 42 laps to go in the SRN Fiverr Truck Series. Michael Madden at 15, UC Park in that 13. They're side by side, but mama, here comes that man again, Dalton McKinney in that 46 machine. My race pick here, making me look good up here in the booth, but he's under fire. Here comes Michael Madden to the low side as we're side by side for the lead into 1.
DeLong trying to snatch that lead back. Looks like it's gonna be Radke and Ben Park going at it there for 5th. Now Dow, Nixon want to get into the mix as well. Everyone jostling for a position up off the corner as Michael Madden from 17th on the grid, leading here at Michigan.
Yeah, 3 wide, just off of the view there, but here comes Austin DeLong in the 89. He's trying to get the lead back. Dalton McKinney in that 46. He is now pushed up the racetrack. Here comes the 3 of Jeffrey Radke and Emerson in that 46. He's in Revis Island over there. He's all by himself. He has no help on the top side.
Quickly, the help comes right back up the track. He tries to make some room, some run up there on the high side. He files back in line behind Nathan Nixon. So McKinney back to 6th. Here's Dow and Radke going at it for 3rd.
Danny Dow on that too. He's inching ahead in this race. You saw that great speed in stage number 1. Now he's up to 3rd. He's pushing the 3 of Radke up the racetrack. He'll get that spot with a good move. Here comes Nathan Nixon though in that 38. Another name I told you folks to watch out for. He'll take the spot from the other guy I told you to watch out for as Nathan Nixon now cracks inside the top 5.
Austin DeLong continue to battle for the race lead to the inside of Michael Madden. They'll be side by side up off the corner here at Michigan, and Dow trying to give a push to Madden down the back. DeLong still fighting down to the inside. Now Radke, now Nixon trying to train the 89 truck.
And I got to say, Emerson, Michael Madden at 15 has absolutely been putting in that work here in tonight's race. That 15, he's up 16 spots since the drop of the green flag. Best lap of the race so far was a 39.8, but don't tell him that. It's probably just slower than the rest of the guys, Emerson, because he's had to race through all the traffic to get up to this lead point here as he's holding off Eddie Dow on that 2. You see Austin Long on the low side of the racetrack. What an awesome camera view here on the Speed Racing Network.
Radke trying to get clear of DeLong. Dow sitting station, or holding station there in second as the battle for the top spot continues on. Spot swap between DeLong and Radke, and it's a top 6 breakaway here. As Dalton McKinney sat 7th, he's leading the rest of this field and losing time to those up ahead.
Yeah, I think he spent too much time on the high side of the racetrack there. Emerson got pushed out of that draft for too long. There was too much speed on the low side of the racetrack, and you get left out of that draft, you start sliding, you start looking around, you lose all your friends. He's now down to 7th, losing that pace, a 2.5 now. Blair Holloman, though, one of those names now in that mix. Now, Emerson, we're watching this new wave of drivers here, these drivers that didn't qualify all that great, that headed down pit road on lap 15, now starting to make their way up to the top of the grid. I'm wondering when that shift will happen here during these green flag runs.
So part of this battle, right, is that there was split strategy there at the stage. McKinney, Park, Vickery, they did not pit at the stage. Everyone else did. And so, in the eyes of Dalton McKinney, Ben Park, and Jeffrey Vickery, they are going to need something to happen here to get themselves back on the same strategy as the rest of this field. Because at the moment, it does not look like they're going to be faring all too well. Because, like I said, Will, this is similar to a plate track. You don't want to pit by yourself here. You can lose a lot of time by losing the draft.
And for the fans of the 46 and maybe the 13 of Ben Park as well, what were the positives of a move like this? I say what were. They still have an opportunity to cash in here on this move, but what are the positives of staying off of pit road there on lap 15?
Well, unfortunately, it was the stage points that Dalton McKinney has alluded us to. Now, again, I'm not sure what the ruling is there, but you know, in real NASCAR with the stages, the caution comes out near the stage break. That is the stage, and the field is frozen for the stage break. But with pit lane being open around the lap 15, McKinney felt the need to stay out to get those 10 points. And so that's all it is, Will. It's just points that McKinney felt was necessary. But unfortunately, the ruling here putting these drivers in a little bit of a box.
Yeah, absolutely. As Michael Madden in that 15 now is under fire from the 89 machine. Austin DeLong, Danny Dow on the high side of the racetrack. There's Jeffrey Radke, Nathan Nixon, Blair Holloman, Hines in that 4. That's a new name here inside of the top 10. Dalton McKinney as well. Cunningham in that 9.
Oh, there was contact.
3 wide for the lead. Look at that. Emerson into 1.
Dow thought he was clear. He was going to go for an elevator move. The only thing is he was knocking on the door of Austin DeLong's truck, and he had no idea. DeLong returned to center, sent Dow back up the track, and Dow clears back to second. DeLong files into third. Nixon cleared to fourth. Radke fifth. Holloman sixth.
Now I'm looking at these lap times. You see Cunningham there in that 64. He's starting to make his way back through the top 10. Lap time's now starting to crack inside the 40s, you know, 40.7, 40.8, 40.9 in some cases as well, Emerson. That indicates to me getting a little bit slower on the racetrack. Maybe looking at those green flag pit stops, lap 20, 25.
To 25 to go, I would imagine, because we're already on working lap 29 here at Michigan. The halfway point nearly coming through, and And I would think it's gonna, our pit stop window's probably around 25 laps to go to 22 laps to go. As Danny Dow, a great power move, the slide job up to the top spot. Danny Dow leads here at Michigan.
Oh, he's been a fighter inside of that top 5 all race long now in the penthouse position with 31 laps to go. But here comes Michael Madden in that 15. He said, hold up, wait a minute, as he's going to try to the low side of the racetrack. Here comes Nathan Nixon as well on that 38. He'll go high side as Austin Long on the 89. He'll stay low as well as that 2 machine. No, he is all by himself heading into 3.
Everyone driving hard down into the corner. Madden and DeLong going at it for a second. DeLong had a great run there as Madden lost a little bit of momentum up off the corner. And we got trucks heading down the pit lane here, Will, at the halfway point. These are the drivers who stayed out at the stage, and McKinney, Vickery, and Kratky.
Yep, you see McKinney there in that 46 machine. He's rocking that new paint scheme here tonight. Some other drivers heading down as well here as we got these cameras down pit road. These cameramen are right next to the pit box. See these drivers heading down now, and we talked about what this is going to look like with Jeffrey Vickery, Jason Kratky, Wally Babb in that 99. And of course, he has a lot of damage in this race here tonight. So really just those 3 guys, Vickery, McKinney, and Kratky, you'll see what the advantage is here, this strategy with 29 laps to go.
So there it is, the Fret Level Midnight Motorsports crew, they complete their pit stop. They are going to come out, though, looks like a lap off the pace, and they will. Now, the other part about this, Will, is that they left Ben Park in the dust, in the dark. He is not their teammate. And Ben Park pitting all by himself here at Michigan.
Yeah, and sometimes that could be the move. You know, I've seen these solo dolo pit stops here. Shout out to Kid Cuddy. You know, sometimes being by yourself is the best move. You'd like to pit with a buddy, I gotta say, Emerson, but you know, sometimes, you know, the right move is your move, and for the 13, you know, this is his move.
Looks like maybe more of a reactionary move, but we'll see how it plays out here as Park has to be racing Vickery, McKinney, and Kratky here, and he will be on the pit exit. If he can get in the draft, it should be A-okay. And he's going to merge. Looks like he'll be up alongside McKinney down the back. And he jumps him.
Yeah, and look at that move from the 46 machine. He's trying to stay on this lead.
Contact!
Oh, no! Contact!
I think maybe McKinney was trying to gather his teammates so they can be in a pack, but Ben didn't have to wait on anybody, and so I think you're right there, Will. It paid off big time for Ben Park.
Yeah, Ben Park in that 13. He's staying put. So is the 46 Adult and McKinney. You see they're in the right spot right now, Emerson, because once these leaders head down, they're going to be right in the money move seats. As Danny Dow still leading this race. Michael Madden that 15. He's still putting the pressure on Nathan Nixon that 38. But these leaders, they still have to head down before this race is over.
Well, part of that battle, Will, that between McKinney and Ben Park, they are 1 lap down, Will. This is the battle for the lucky dog.
Oh, yeah. And they're trying their hardest here, and I think they're in a great spot when everybody starts to head down. You know, you're already halfway through the field. When everybody starts to head down, you don't have to go through as many drivers to get those laps back.
So here you go. Andrew Harris, Bruce Amsden, and Derek De Silva all heading down to pit lane. That Harris, Amsden, De Silva. 10th, 11th, and 12th.
And how nerve-wracking is this, Emerson? With 26 laps to go, it's the very first round of the top 10. All the points are set to 0. This is the absolute money spot. If you're inside of the top 10, you get the race victory here tonight. You could all but lock yourself into that next round. This is just a huge kickoff event for this top 10.
It's very important, especially, Will, if you're a driver that doesn't fancy the short tracks or, you know, very technical tracks, you need a little bit more breathing room. The next 2 weeks do not play into your favor. Richmond and Nashville, those are 2 of the most difficult ovals on the circuit. as Jeffrey Radke's going to be pitting here from the top 5. Richmond and Nashville are very, very difficult ovals. A lot of bumps at Nashville, and Richmond, of course, is a short track that takes a lot of skill and finesse. If you don't feel like you have that or have that confidence at those types of tracks, Will, this race tonight is your be-all, end-all.
Yeah, absolutely. What I really love about tonight's race, we talk about the top 10, this being the first round of that top 10. With the likes of Jeffrey Radke, really haven't called his name out too many out tonight. He came in as the #1 seed. Jacob Zala, maybe a few times as well. Matthew Greathouse, we saw him get crashed up in this race. But maybe just we're watching moves out of guys that are lower in the point standings. You're looking at Dalton McKinney in that 46. Michael Madden came in as the 5th seed here in these top 10 races. So these guys that are on the lower point of that points table can really throw themselves to the top. They get that checkered flag.
Absolutely. What's going on here, Will, is those drivers in Ben Park, Dalton McKinney, Jeffrey Vickery, they have unlapped themselves, Will. And so now Matthew Greathouse, who falls a lap down due to pace. Jason Kratke is the first driver who has pitted on this cycle green flag pit stops, and 14th, who's a lap down. And we're going to have some of the leaders come down now. Madden, Dow, Nixon, and DeLong.
Oh, look how furious it was heading down pit road. Those Goodyear Eagles were screeching there at that timing marker as the 15 will be the first truck down. He's then his box, Danny Dow, Nathan Nixon down pit road as well. Who will come out on top? There's Austin DeLong as well.
Austin DeLong overshoots the box.
Watch
That's
how that
unfortunate.
affects the 89 here on pit road. Here, this is a big race. Oh my goodness, as they almost make contact. Remember, race up a pit road here, Emerson. They really got on the gas quick.
Absolutely, and I guess now's the time where we can maybe pull the curtain back a little bit, Will. There is one point here, in iRacing where collision is not necessarily enabled, and it's here coming out in and out of pit boxes. You are able to drive through other vehicles, and so you see it there. Some drivers got a little close. They were maybe inside of one another. That is because iRacing does give a grace period within a few stalls in front of and behind your pit box to have no collision.
But you could tell, Emerson, both those drivers were on that gas pedal. Yeah. Both of them wanted to win that battle off pit road.
So that was Blair Holloman. Now Zachary Hines and Troy Techmeyer hit the pit lane.
This is that time, Emerson. This is the Yahtzee reshuffle of the grid. We're going to see names bobbing up and down in that scoring pylon when everything is said and done.
Hines stops one box too short. Didn't really know where his pit box was.
Hines, one of those new names we're seeing here in this field. Not really a regular here in this series. A lot of these names here as Troy Techmeyer, you see right there at the top of the grid, as Radke, our #1 seed, leading here with 20 laps to go.
Yeah, so Radke with the top spot here. And this is because, wow, he stayed out 5 laps longer than Ben Park, 6 laps longer than Dalton McKinney. He did not lose that much. Well, he also pitted from the top 5 as opposed to the others pitting from nearly outside the top 10. But he has fresher tires, and he did not put himself at such a deficit like Park and McKinney did, that Radke was able to take full advantage of the pit cycle here. Now, Park and McKinney, they're doing okay for the most part. Second and third is nothing to scoff at. But, what could have been for these guys who finished, up high in the stage.
And I got to say, what an absolute money move out of the 3 of Jeffrey Radke. You just touched on it, that checklist, Emerson. He headed down pit road, lap 36. So now you have a cushion. You got 2 laps on those other guys that have fresher tires, 3 laps at the most with the Ted Machine and Blair Holloman. You got 19 laps to go. You got about 2 or 3 other trucks in between you now that are really going to fight for those positions because they're going to be on older equipment as well. I mean, Radke, he's looking in the money spot here, going for his 3rd win here in the SRN Fiverr Truck Series.
Gonna get a little crazy here, Will. Ben Park on old tires. He's getting caught by a hound of trucks. As here comes Nixon and Madden, Dow, all in this pack. Cunningham, oh, Cunningham's a lap down, but everyone taking advantage of these old tires.
Absolutely. Here in this race, we're going to be singing Baja Men to the end, because who let the dogs out? Because you're going to see it here with 17 laps to go. These drivers are now settled in. Pit stops are out of the way. We mentioned points are set to 0 to kick off this top 10 as well. So you know these drivers are going to push for every inch on the racetrack. Jeffrey Radke looking good, though. He has a 2-second lead on Michael Madden in the 15.
Jacob Zolla, 25 laps off the pace, is going to pull off the racing surface there. Nixon and Dow, they go at it for third. All this is going on, Will, 2 seconds behind Jeffrey Radke. Now, Madden has 2 lap fresher tires than Radke. We'll see over the course of 16 laps if that advantage is going to matter.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I think the 3 has just locked himself in a great spot for going any caution flags to end out this race, which there could be. I talked about the ferocity that I expect to see to end out this race. But if everything stays green with a 2-second lead, it is slipping just a little bit. Have to mention that now at sub 2 seconds here, and it is being eaten up like the yellow dots in Pac-Man. You know, the water's starting to creep in the boat a little bit there, Emerson, but I think the 3 can hold it down if he feels any pressure from that 15.
Well, we'll take a look at what's happening here, Will. Danny Dow and Michael Madden are teammates, and they are taking the super speedway racing to full effect. They are bump drafting here at Michigan to chase down Jeffrey Radke.
And for the 3, if we could show the 3 here, he's going to find some help. Maybe a lap truck somewhere on the racetrack. There's nobody around him. So all he can do here, Emerson, is look in that rear view and know that that train is coming. There's nothing to do here to stop that force. You know, an object in motion is going to stay in motion, and that 15 is moving off the corner.
I mean, this is crazy. I knew it was a super speedway type of race, but this is crazy. The bum drafting to have the lead. You're 14 laps to go, and it's effective. It is. They are moving and grooving down that deficit here between Madden and Dow. And, you know, never did I think that we were going to be talking about teamwork, you know, to decide a race here.
I mean, it's a little Ricky Bobby,
yeah,
cow non-action on the racetrack, a little shake and bake. But the only question I have for you, Emerson, is at the end, if it's 1-2, who's going to be Ricky Bobby? Who's going to be Cal Naughton? Is it going to be Cal Naughton saying, maybe you should let me win one every now and then? Or is it going to be Ricky Bobby saying, if you ain't first, you're last? We're going to have to wait and see with 13 laps to go.
Well, the thing here is, Will, one of them is in the playoffs, one isn't. I think that's going to be the deciding factor. We'll see, though. Of course, this has to play out, but Michael Madden, the playoff driver here, trying to steal the show away from Jeffrey Radke, leading here at Michigan, 13 laps to go. And to take a page out of Will Tiller's book, Mama, here comes that man. Michael Madden is quickly closing that gap.
Absolutely chasing down Jeffrey Radke in that 3 like he stole something from that 15 machine as he's coming, trying to catch that draft off of that truck coming off of 2 here. You see that beautiful thread level midnight logo there on that bumper. Oh, it's going to be occupied by the Toyota logo or the 15 of Michael Madden, because he's about to put it right up the rear end of Jeffrey Radke. We're going to have a battle for the lead off of 4.
Here we go with 12 laps to go. Radke with the block. Madden gets to the outside. Now he's going to go with the teammate. Side by side for the top spot here from the Great Lakes State. Radke and Madden, they're going to duel it out down to the turn number 1. Madden is going to have the preferred line in the middle of the racetrack. Side by side up off the corner. Radke is going to get freight trained by the Sparkle and Shine duo. That is Danny Dow and Michael Madden. And now Michael Madden, who was the 5th seed in the playoffs coming out of the last round, now finds himself in prime position here with 11, now count it, 10 laps to go here from Michigan.
As Michael Madden crosses that start-finish line with 10 laps to go, Jeffrey Radke in that 3 can learn from another 3, Allen Iverson. That teamwork makes the dream work, something out of Shaq and Kobe's book, what we saw from Michael Madden and Danny Dow in that 2. But now Jeffrey Radke has now fallen out of the podium as Blair Hallman's up to 3rd. He might come up and spoil this teamwork, dreamwork party going up the top of the grid.
Well, Blair Holloman is a part of that high-temp Rev Racing group. Now, we'll see here. Holloman is one of those drivers who's in the playoffs, though, Will. And so we got 2 teammates in the playoffs in the top 3. Now, that could be intriguing.
This is going to get mucho caliente. As you see Danny Dow in that 2, he gets uncomfortable. See a little bit of a fanning out there as the 10 actually prefers a different line here. Blair Holloman coming off of 2 on the high side of the racetrack is going to put that nose on the back bumper as we're single file down in the 3.
And now this is the hard part. Danny Dow, you know, what does he do? Does he allow Blair Holloman to get past to put the 2 teammates in the playoffs in front? And Holloman to the outside, he's going to do it himself. He'll work to the outside of his teammate Danny Dow. And Will, now we have 2 desperate drivers looking for their golden ticket into the next round of the playoffs, sitting 1st and 2nd.
And I think Blair Hallman, he's the hungriest right now. You see him scatting around that 15 machine. He's trying to look for a window of opportunity. This doesn't look like a kumbaya moment up here at the top of the grid. They're not just holding hands and saying, okay, we're being great teammates. They're scrapping it out. They're throwing elbows for the lead. You gotta love it, Emerson, with 8 laps to go.
Madden trying to run high, but not too high. Holloman taking every bit of clean air he can. Dow will try to squeeze in between Holloman and Radke, but if Radke can get back to the outside of Dow, that would make it 3 playoff drivers in the top 3 looking for their golden ticket. If Radke can find his way around Dow. But don't forget, guys, Danny Dow just came a few points shy of making the playoffs. If you think back to how it went, Danny Dow was 14 points shy of the cut line after Phoenix. And so here we are at Michigan, 7 laps to go. Danny Dow's gonna watch 2 teammates and 3 playoff drivers go at it in front of his. Radke dives it off into turn 3 to try to get Dow.
Oh, Jeffrey Radke with a full send moment there. He tried to dive bomb it into 3 and 4, but here comes Blair Hallman. He's on the back bumper of the 15. As I mentioned, this is not sunshines and rainbows up here, Emerson. They're trying to battle it out for the checkered flag. You mentioned they're both playoff drivers, but I think the 10 machine of Blair Hallman would like this victory just a little bit more. He's a little bit further down that points table. With a victory here tonight, that would essentially catapult him inside the top 3.
We'll see. Well, everyone is tied coming into today's race. And it's going to be who locks themselves in with Richmond and Nashville still to come. Maybe the talk right now is who's better at Richmond and Nashville. But Blair Holloman and Michael Madden, both of them scrapping away for that golden ticket, Will. Right now, they're nose to tail, maybe trying to break it away, maybe trying to make sure it is a mano-a-mano between the both of them and no third party joins the fray. But with 5 laps to go, some lap trucks up the road, this could get intriguing.
5 laps to go here in the Speed Racing Network. Emerson Arden, William Tiller here. We've been back from our little vacation, but now with 5 laps to go, Emerson's been this style of race. It's the top of the green flag. Michael Madden at 15. He's trying to hold off his teammate, fellow playoff driver, Blair Hallman in that 10. Danny Dow, you just saw him stick his nose out. He's trying to use that draft as well. And don't count out Jeffrey Radke. He already has 2 wins on the season. 4 laps to go to see who can lock themselves into the next round.
Now it's the waiting game. Dow trying to drive it up off the corner. He turns out to the inside of his teammate. Now Dow puts a block on Jeffrey Radke. Side by side for a second. Madden trying to hold on to the top spot. Maybe Dow isn't going to sit and let his teammates win it, as Danny Dow is going to drive past both his teammates as he tries to take the race lead. He's clear. Does he clear up
But there goes Michael Madden in the 15. He goes to the low side of the 2. You watch the move out of Jeffrey Radke, though. He essentially forced the 2 to have to go for the lead. He kept him out of the draft with his teammates. Now he's pushing Blair Hallman along on the low side of the racetrack. 3 laps to go. Throw up those 3s. Rest in peace to Dale Earnhardt, because we got an absolute shootout here in Michigan.
4 of the top 5 drivers, Will, are part of the high temp Rev the Racing stable. It is Madden, Dow, Holloman, and Nixon all versus Jeffrey Radke. They're all lined up on the high side. Radke down on the inside. Now 2 laps to go. 4 miles to settle it from the Great Lakes State. And Madden, Dow, Holloman, the top 3.
Yeah, Radke wisely follows back into line. Now back goes to the low side of the racetrack, trying to make a run. You said it though, Emerson, no help on the low side of the racetrack. Michael Madden will take us off of 2. 2 laps to go. Who will be the first driver locked in to the next round? The 15 takes us into 3.
Madden, Dow, and Holloman trying to duel it out with Jeffrey Radke down the inside. No one getting too crazy. Coming around now. 1 lap to go here from Michigan. All bets are off. Who's going to get back to the line first?
Final lap here in the SRN Fiverr Truck Series. Round number 1 of the top 10. Michael Madden is leading the way. Jeffrey Radke trying to dive bomb it like a rally car into the corner. He gets loose on the apron. He'll hold it down though in 3rd. No help as Eddie Dallas pushing his teammate into 3.
Dow sitting stationary in 2nd. Madden trying to make something happen. Holloman's going to have to send it on the outside. Madden drives to the middle of the track. 3 wide for 2nd. Holloman's going to do top to bottom. And across the stripe, it's going to be Michael Madden winning here at Michigan.
Wow, we were 3 wide for a second across the line, as well as it looks like Blair Holloman, Jeffrey Radke will virtually tie for 2nd, with Danny Dow coming home 4th. Photo finish at the line for that 2nd spot.
Saw a slow truck down on the apron. Dalton McKinney was down there, and now McKinney trying to get a push from teammate Wally Babb. We'll see if this is allowed on the final lap. Dalton McKinney, I think he's out of gas. Oh, it's running. McKinney just wanted to get a lap less in this race, but Michael Madden and the high temp revved racing crowd with reason to celebrate here at Michigan. I know full-on team celebrations have not been favorited by SRN admins in the past. We'll see how this one fares, but Michael Madden, the driver sitting in EPI victory lane, with reason to celebrate. And we'll bring him on up. He's doing a victory lap around the Michigan International Speedway. He got the win in the regular season, so this is his 2nd win on the season. And he'll loop it down off the racing surface, and I think that's our cue to bring on up driver of the number 15, and Michael Madden. And Michael, it is now your 2nd win on the season, and this one was something else. The team came out in full force to help you out tonight. Tell us about the strategy call and how it all fared out for y'all. As well, part of it, I guess, was you and Blair were both fighting for a spot in the final 5.
It was just a huge team effort from everybody. We couldn't have done it without Dow and Nixon pushing us along. Even Kosher in the beginning of the race, like it was just a full team high temp rev racing show tonight, and it was great to see finally in the 17th race of the season. So it's good to see peaking at the right time, boys.
Peaking at the right time. Now, I was a little worried. What was the game plan gonna be? With you and Blair both being playoff drivers, was that really settled? Were y'all just gonna race it out? I know with 3 laps to go, it looked like everyone was gonna race it out, and then everyone kind of filed back in line there, coming around the last couple laps.
It's big picture stuff. You don't want to jeopardize me. I don't want to jeopardize him. The best thing happened in 1-2. Even if it was the other way around, I would have been happy for him. It's just more importantly, one of us getting the punch ticket to the championship round, and him having the best points day he can have without winning. So it's a good thing. We worked together all race long, and like I said, I couldn't have done it without the other two of our little crew here. So I appreciate everybody.
Well, Michael, now you can take, a deep breath, take Richmond and Asheville more or less just for fun, get yourself maybe some momentum as you set your sights to Homestead, Miami. How do you feel about Homestead,
Yeah, man,
Miami?
it's been a whirlwind of a couple weeks for me personally, and I moved and had all this stuff going on, so it's been a wild thing. So it's nice that I could settle in for the next 2 weeks, no pressure, just really focus on Homestead and focus on Blair, making sure he makes it with me, and we can race it out for a championship.
Absolutely, Michael. Well, congratulations on your second victory on the season. This one, though, all important with that golden ticket to Homestead. Congratulations, Michael, and best luck to you. Well, December 12th, when you race for a
Uh,
title.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, quick shout outs. Want to shout out Sparkle and Shine, Kosher, and all those guys for everything they do for me every series I race in. The MM15 crew, wife, family for watching every week, and really just a high temp rev racing team and the family we built here. I mean, we couldn't have been here without the help of everybody. So I'm looking forward to Homestead, looking forward to practicing, and really looking forward to finishing out the season strong. And thank you for you guys every week putting this show on.
Absolutely. The kind words are great as always, Michael. Congratulations once again on the victory here at Michigan, and best luck to you at Homestead. That was driver of the number 15, our race winner here around race number 17 of 20 here on the season. And it was a 1-2 for high temp revved racing will. Teammate Blair Holloman finishes second. You're standing by.
Yeah, the 10 machine definitely put in some work here tonight. He finished 11 spots since that starting position. Now, speaking with Blair here, and Blair, we saw those battles with your teammates there towards the end of the race. But take us through the main parts of this race. We did have a few cautions there. We had our leaders actually take each other out. How was this race for you?
It was a very interesting race. With Michigan, you never quite know what you're going to get. These pack races always, I guess, in a way, it does promote chaos. You never really know when someone has a run off the corner, what their speed is, what their line is, and what's really going to happen. It was very chaotic I'd say the first 25 laps of the race for certain.
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned it on the broadcast. When you watch back, you'll hear us kind of break down those battles with your teammates. Was there ever a talk between you and the 15, or maybe with your the two of Denny Dow, of maybe allowing one of you to get the victory? Emerson kind of joked, or who's better at the short tracks, or was it just a free for all? Whoever can get the checkered flag, go ahead and take it.
I mean, the priority was definitely Madden. No doubt was dedicated to him. I was stuck on the high side there. I pitted a lap after everybody, so for those laps getting back to the pack, I ran the bottom. So I was kind of stuck running pretty much like the last two grooves on the track. So while they were playing around at the bottom there with running down Rat Key, I was stuck on the high side. I didn't really have much left there at the end. I just told them like, hey, I can't run any lower. Like when I ran low trying to pass those guys there that one lap, it was bad. I heard the tires squeal the whole way around the corner. I'm like, yeah, I need to get back up to the top as soon as possible.
We watched the same performance out of you here tonight. You know, you move up 11 spots in the starting position, a good lap time of 39.8. Blair, I'd have to say you've been kind of sleepy good this season. When I say that, you're not one of the names like Jeffrey Radke with 2 wins, Jacob Zala winning last week. You know, we talked about Matthew Greathouse. You've just sort of been this guy that's finishing inside the top 5, top 10, and now we're inside the top 10 of the playoffs. You made it through this round. How do you keep this momentum sort of rolling through these short tracks without making too many waves?
I mean, honestly, the big thing with like the short tracks that come up here is you really don't want to make any enemies. I mean, you make one driver mad, you piss them off, and they keep that in the back of their head the whole season. Well, now we're going to Richmond, and you can be on the receiving end of some very interesting things that can happen. And I kept my nose clean most of the season. I don't think I've made anybody too awful mad, hopefully. And hopefully I don't end up on the receiving end of a bumper next week. You never know.
Well, we'll wait and see to see that 10 machine at those short tracks here in the next few weeks. But Blair, you come home second here tonight. Anybody want to shout out on tonight's broadcast or any sponsors that helped you get onside that podium?
Yeah, I got a couple shout outs here. I want to give a shout out to Customer Club with my sponsor, my brother Dustin. I want to give a shout out to my older brother Yost. I know he was watching this evening, as well as my dad. Of course, Sparkle and Shine with Sean Kozier. I know his night didn't end out very well. He got involved in a wreck there early, but all the Rev guys here, I mean, Madden and Dow, those guys had this place figured out tonight. Nixon, he was also in the running the whole evening. So it was nice to see 4 of us in the top 5. I mean, anytime you have your teammates finishing in the top 5 as well, that's a good team effort. And we just played our cards right this evening, and it played out very well into our favor. So hopefully, as a team, we can keep the momentum going. You never know.
Absolutely. We can't wait and see. But Blair, we appreciate you taking the time with us here, my man. You finished second in the return here in the Fiverr Truck Series. We appreciate. Can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you, guys. I'll catch you next week.
That was the 10 machine of Blair Holloman Emerson. Great run out of him here tonight. Finishes second. You heard, though, there was a call between him and the 15. There was priority for the 15 to win here tonight. We'll see if that changes at the short tracks. But you were catching up with a big dog in the house. You know, everything reset. This man has 2 wins on the season. He was in the fight for victory here tonight. He's going to come home third. You're catching up with Jeffrey Radke.
Yeah, absolutely. Catching up with our third place finisher tonight. Just a couple spots short of getting that third win in 4 races. Jeffrey, that was a little bit of a tough one, having to go against an entire team, if you will, there at the end. How did you keep your composure? How'd you put yourself in the best spot to prosper despite everything going against you?
I was trying to play the tire game, really. Noticed they were catching me pretty quick after pit stops. Figured I ought to back it off a little bit and just kind of let them. They were going to anyway. Had more trucks. This track's so draft dependent. Just without the help, I did everything I could there to save till the end and then make a run using the bottom lane. It seemed to be the only place there was room to go.
Well, Jeff, it's still a great run to start the playoffs, considering start round 2 of the playoffs. Considering everyone's reset to 0. Next up is Richmond. With this run coupled with maybe a couple short track and match with that, drives like a short track with long straightaways the coming weeks. How do you feel about your chances to work your way through this round, see yourself in that final 5 at Homestead?
Want to have a good finish tonight, if not win the race, at least top 5. So I accomplished that. Going into Richmond, I'm just going to try and stay up front and avoid the chaos. Hopefully I can get a good finish there. And then I got Nashville circled, so we'll see what I can do on the concrete track.
Nashville circled. Love the confidence there, Jeff. Congratulations on a podium finish tonight here from Michigan. Best luck to you the rest of the way here in the second round of playoffs.
Thanks. Have a good night, guys.
Driver of the number 3, Jeffrey Radke, out of Fret Level Midnight Motorsports, the odd man out of that high temp revved racing quartet up in the top 5. Jeffrey Radke finishing in the 3rd position tonight. Well, Will, it was a quick race, a little bit of a chaotic start to the race, and the strategy flowed, ebbed and flowed, if you will, to give us a wild finish amongst teammates and Jeffrey Radke dueling it out for that golden ticket into the next round of the playoffs. And this is how they came to the checkers, with Michael Madden winning tonight's race over Blair Holloman, Jeffrey Radke, Danny Dow, and Nathan Nixon. Austin DeLong, Troy Techmeyer, 6th and 7th. Zachary Hines comes home with a respectable 8th. Derek Da Silva, 9th. And Andrew Harris, the top 10. Will?
Yeah, and you look at the name that we didn't call out at all here tonight. Bruce Armstrong, he finishes there in the 11th. Ben Park in that 13th finishes 12th. Jeffrey Vickery in that 77, 13th here tonight. Connor Cunningham did not have as a run. He had a better run than what his finishing position will reflect. He finishes 14th in this race. Dalton McKinney, same thing there, finishes 15th. Jason Radke, 16th, and he will be the last truck on the lead lap as Matthew Greathouse 1 lap down in this race, and 17th. Daniel Park, 18th. Wally Babb, 19th. Running out our top 20, Jacob Zala, and to round out our field, Sean Quizzer in at 97.
And Sean Kosher got absolutely walloped in that second caution of the night. But Will, it was a quick paced race with only the 2 cautions. Unfortunately, 3 heavyweights taken out on the 4th lap of the race. But outside of that, was a great race, Will. To you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was scrappy. We talked about that to start off this broadcast. What style of race were we going to get? Was it going to be calm? Was it going to be green flag runs? Caution flags, we did have, Emerson. There were some rub in there. Curious to see if that carries over to those short tracks. But here tonight, you look at stage 1, Dalton McKinney gets that. Michael Madden gets this with the teamwork at the end. I'm looking for that the rest of the way. After tonight's race, you saw it here. The teammates work together, even drivers outside of the championship hunt. Does that carry through here in these top 10 races as we're going to go short track racing next week, Emerson? Cannot wait. I'm so excited to be back up here in the SRN Fiverr Truck Series broadcast booth.
Likewise, Will, it was a great race tonight here from Michigan, but we're not done with Michigan. We've got 2 more coming up this week. From the big bad D-shaped oval that is Michigan International Speedway. Unfortunately, no Fords here in Ford's backyard, and no Chevys were able to take the crown tonight in GM's backyard. We'll see if they have better luck over the next couple nights. But as far as tonight, I think that'll do it for us here from the Great Lakes State. Of course, a huge shout out to all of our partners here at SRN, Fiverr, Glitch, and Z-Girls for all of their hard work on each of the respective nights. Of course, tonight with the Fiverr Truck Series, a huge shout out to Fiverr. Admin Box has been on your screen all evening long. It's been our starting grid presenter all season. Make sure you use code SRN-box, that's a BOXX, for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. Butt Kicker has been a proud commercial partner here at Speed Racing Network all season long, and you've heard messages from them throughout the season, especially today there. Butt Kicker, a great partner here at Speed Racing Network. EPI, of course, with our Victory Lane presentation for all those high-temp revved racing drivers, and Michael Madden celebrating tonight here from Michigan. And a huge shout out to Select Blinds for our incident replays this evening. I have to get them going early here in Michigan, but not much more after that. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, why don't you go ahead, scroll down, see that like button, do that thumbs up. See that big red button that says subscribe? Go and click and make it say subscribed in past tense. Turn it gray. Help us reach our subscription goal here at Speed Racing Network. While you're down there, guys, you might see this big bright join button that's blue. You might wonder, well, join what, right? For $4.99 a month, you can get access to the Speed Racing Network Premium Membership Program. You get access to loyalty badges, custom emojis, exclusive wallpapers and photos, early access to new content, member shoutouts, members only live chat, priority reply to comments, and much, much more. To join, of course, you can hit that blue join button next to the subscribe button on our YouTube channel now. Of course, shout out to all of our social media outlets where you'll be, I'm sure, keeping your eyes glued to see the updated Fiverr Truck Series point standings as of tonight's race. Our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, our X page at Speed Racing Net, our Instagram at Speed Racing Network, our YouTube at youtube.com/Speed Racing Network, our Twitch at twitch.tv/Speed Racing Net, our LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/Speed Racing Network, and of course the big website where you can keep up with everything SRN, where they have schedules, points, news, and all that jazz waiting for you at speedracingnetwork.com. Well, that'll do it for us here from the Great Lake State. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Speed Racing Network, thank you so much for watching. I had Will Tiller alongside myself, Emerson Arden, in the virtual booth this evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night when the Glitch Truck Series keeps on trucking here from Michigan. We'll see you next Tuesday night. We head to Richmond, Virginia for race 18 of 20 on the season.